Okay, so Grave Secrets, they went out. We actually filmed Grave Secrets as a film initially.
Okay.
Okay. So it started with a full-length feature.
Okay.
And all of a sudden we started to get people saying, it would make a great series, a great television series. So it started as a full-length film,
Okay.
and then we started to get interest in television.
Okay. Now that film was shown on Nickelodeon, or was it shown somewhere else?
No, film was not shown at all.
Okay.
We actually then made a TV version. We shortened it down.
Okay.
And so that's what aired on Nickelodeon in November.
Okay.
Originally, they were planning to launch November. It was actually the weekend. I'll never forget. There was the huge storm. It wasn't It was that horrible
the one in October.
storm.
Where everyone lost power for like 2 weeks.
Right, there's no power, so Nickelodeon in New York is shut down, and everything is shut down, and this is our...
That's right, everything flooded in New York, yes.
So this is our premiere.
Okay.
Okay. And then this is a funny story. So we're on set filming, like, the Witching Game or something.
Okay.
And it aired, and, all your friends are texting you, I saw it. And it was supposed to air again Sunday night. So Sunday night we're on set, and I get a text from my friends, SpongeBob is on. They're not running it. And I'm sitting there saying, oh my God, they've canceled us already. Like, how can that be?
Yeah.
But it was that whole storm.
Okay. And that's interesting. So right now, the only one that's actually aired is the Grave.
It's Grave Secrets.
Okay.
Now they're going to air that again, I'm assuming. But there are 10 that are completed, so 10 are finished and delivered.
Okay.
And while we don't have the exact date in October, we're pretty much guaranteed it's October. No, because this isn't really high budget. We have to be careful about what we're doing.
Okay.
Some of the original books just don't lend themselves to smaller scales.
Okay.
So you can be really fantastical in the book, harder to translate it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in one of the episodes, which is Revenge of the Goblins, which we did film. Mm-hmm. In the book, we actually visit Goblinicus, which is underground, and couldn't really do it in the episode.
Okay.
So while there are some that we can draw on, some that the 17 or the remaining 7 that we can draw on, they're going to have to be a little bit different, and there are a few we're going to have to lose just because.
Okay, so
yes, new content.
Okay, so if it gets picked up, are you guys done with the series? I guess that's the question. At 17, are you done writing the series, or
No.
So there's more to come?
I certainly hope so. That's the hope.
Now, would Nickelodeon having the show out there, would that push you guys a little bit more? Like, I look at somebody like George Martin, right? When you go to Game of Thrones, he's written up to this point, and now once they catch up to that point, kind of what happens. Like, for you guys, if it got picked up and it does phenomenal, which I'm sure it will, when they get to that book where, we've done everything we could here, what do you have for us? Like, do you have notes of new books? Would you go back to the table and stuff like that?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Okay.
I am, I was saying to a friend of mine, I some days I'm just insanely calm. Like, yes, it's not a problem. And then other days, total meltdown, where I just play my game and pretend the whole world disappears.
Okay.
We are hoping to be able to keep up.
Okay.
New games. So, yes, I have pads and pads of episodes. 8 to 12.
Okay.
Okay. 7. It depends on the reader.
Yes,
Some
like
kids,
my 7-year-old, no way. Like, he
right.
would be...
He'd be like, forget about it.
Yes, he'd be crying in his room. But my 9-year-old is even a little there. Listen, I'll be honest with you. When I picked up the books for the first time, and I saw the covers, and I was like, okay, we're going to be thinking about, like, something on Scooby-Doo, right? Like, so, all of a sudden, there's there's a mystery here, but at the end of the day, there's smoke and mirrors, there's pulleys, there's holograms,
right.
And that's not the case at all. Like, that first book, okay, that's for real. That's not like, there's nothing behind the scenes that's going to come to explain this after the fact. Like, it definitely must take a kid. You have to, I guess, be careful with your kids on what they're looking at for that level. But a great book, and I was surprised, like I said, because there was, it wasn't, didn't play down to the kids. It didn't dumb it down for the kids.
It's so important for us not to do that.
because then you end up in this whole Shaggy and Scooby chasing each other with the guy flying through on a cable. And I found it very interesting. Now, I'm a big scaredy cat myself.
Oh boy.
So it was fine for me.
So am I, but go ahead, you'll love this.
It was fine for me. You know, I thought to like, okay, you know, this is a little interesting. Like, you know, you find yourself sometimes writing and you're like, wait a second, I can't really do that in this kid's book. Or do you find yourself going, well, you know what, kids at this age they're able to handle this sort of stuff as long as it's funny, as long as it's humorous, as long as there's something at the end of it that, you know, is... You kind of know what I mean.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
But
it is a question. I think that what we've worked really hard to do, because we're both scaredy cats too.
Yeah,
I mean, when I had never even seen horror, you know, so when we started working on horror, you know, I'm watching Benji the Hunted like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. Very, very careful. I don't like blood and gore. I'm not a fan of it. Yep. So I certainly don't want to do it. I don't think it's scary. It's just gross. Yes. So we try very hard to stay away from anything like that. It's always nice when you can take kids to the edge and then let them go where they can go in their own heads. Okay. So what we try to do is set them up and then do you take it where you can go. So yeah, we're careful. And some kids will read that book and say, oh, that was stupid. You know, that's not scary. Yeah. You know, and then there are other kids that are like, I can't do it. Yes. What's fun for me is when we do schools or libraries, because now we have the visual and the books. Yep. I always ask kids, I'll read it, is it scarier in your head or is it scarier on the screen? It's always scarier in their head, which I love too. Well, in all honesty, you know, David has kids, Scott has kids, everybody has kids. And we knew from the beginning of this, because it was a unique project, because we did have the books. We also had an opportunity to help teachers and librarians and kind of suggest that reading is an important thing. And that it all starts with the written word. You know what I'm saying? So we thought plus we needed a wraparound. We needed a way. There was a show called Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yes. Okay. And it was, you know, the kids around the campfire and they told a scary story. But with the literacy problems, we thought, here's an interesting way to tie this all together. Okay. So, and all of us loved The Princess Bride, and loved too the idea, even in the television show, when it gets to a place where it might be too scary, we can back it out and bring you back to the safety of the kids' rooms, to the safety of it's just make believe in a book. So every aspect of it.
I didn't actually think about that. That actually makes sense. Now,
it started with, obviously, we had 3 or 4 different kids that we thought might be a great fit for the show. Jennifer was on the top of the list. So I don't know. I don't know whether it went to anyone else or whether, I don't remember honestly, or whether it just went to Jennifer. It probably went to a couple of people. But when Jennifer got interested, I mean, it's perfect. She is. I mean, she's perfect in this. She is so sweet and genuinely down to earth and really smart and really self-aware. And I just think such an incredible role model, positive role model. They're ready to go out with 10. Okay.
And you guys have those 10 done?
They're done. They're filmed. They're ready to go. Full-length movie? Oh, it came from the deep. Which we won't be doing as a show because I really would like to hold it for a film. Selfishly, because it takes place at a resort like Atlantis, you know, so I'm in.
Of course. Right? Who doesn't want to go to Atlantis?
That's correct. So I would be happy there. Absolutely. Each one stands alone. So even with the television show, the only thread holding it all together is Jennifer. You know, if we're not beating the crap out of each other. You know, it's funny, we have been working together so long, we share one brain.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, you know, when we first started together, obviously we had to be together, and we you know, would beat the crap out of each other. But basically it works like this: when we're dealing with dead time or this kind of thing, we will literally, if we're doing books, break up the chapters.
Okay.
We'll sit and we'll do that first chapter together, set the tone, work by outline, so we know what the heck is happening. So it's kind of like tag team. You go do. At the end of the day, we switch them. We clean up what needs to be cleaned up, and we do the same thing again. Okay. With the scripts, because it's dialogue driven, it's always fun to do it with someone, because you know, you're getting the reaction in real time.
Yeah.
So if I say something and you laugh, I'm like, we're good.
Yeah.
So when we did young adult thrillers together, we generally split up the voices of the characters. So I would be all the psychos and anybody who thought was psycho, and Gina would be the hero and anybody who thought was a good guy. So